Hello, my name is Eric. Welcome to Fine Mathematics on our continued conversations on executive functions. This is Chapter 3, Systems, and this is our conclusion. So I just want to kind of recap everything I discussed in the previous videos. And let me just say that from the very first video of this chapter, I made the simple analogy of taking a trip to Egypt from, let's say, Los Angeles. If you don't have systems in place, there's no way to actually get to Egypt. And the system would be analogous to either hopping on a plane or hopping on a plane, then a boat, or whatever other combinations you've got to do to get to Egypt. But if we don't have a system, even if the student has the objective of, let's say, hey, I want to get to Egypt, but I have no way of getting there, the student is never going to get there. They may make small strides, but they'll never be able to reach there without real systems. So systems are the pathways we need to be able to achieve our objective of doing well in school. So let me just define what a system is first. A system, once again, is an action with an objective. And within systems, I've defined three categories that I'm using, which are going to be personal, academic, and maintenance. And as I mentioned with the Egypt analogy, traveling to Egypt, if you don't have systems, student desire or the desire to do well in school is not going to be enough to achieve success. Systems are necessary to achieve success. If you're lacking systems, the student can never get to that quality of work. Systems are actions to success. Desire isn't enough to achieve success as a student. Without systems, there's no way to achieve the academic success the student is desiring. And remember, success is progressive. We don't just go from 0 to 100. It's a progressive thing. We do a little bit, we do a little better, we put the systems in place, the quality goes up, we keep doing it, and it keeps going on and on and on, which is built on consistency. The first category of systems that I've defined is the personal system. And these are systems that maintain ourselves. So this would be from basic hygiene to personal care. The next system is going to be systems of academic systems. These systems can be like formatting and filing. These systems maintain basic academic stability, if you will, of quality of work or maintaining where work is so the student can build upon that to achieve success. And the last category of systems is maintenance. These are systems that help maintain the workspace, maintain our environment, maintain ourselves, so that way we don't fall back to how we were before there was any of executive functions in place at all. And lastly, we have systems that we can create. So if there's systems that fall out of the three categories I mentioned, I used the example previously, most students will have some kind of extracurricular activity that they're part of, maybe sports or a club, or maybe they have a job. And those things will have responsibilities that may require a system to be put in place and action with an objective, so that way they don't fall behind in that as well too. Or that doesn't start diminishing, and then all of a sudden they have to put more energy there, and then everything else starts lacking. Remember, we're trying to create systems that become daily and automatic, so then everything is maintained at a high level. And just to kind of wrap all this up, this conclusion and this whole video, and I've said this many times before in the previous videos up to this point, all of this stuff is first and foremost designed to help the student achieve their maximum potential. Now, the great part about this too, if you haven't already realized, that while the student is learning in this chapter to create systems, and then also create systems that maybe fall outside of school, this is the great training ground for them in adulthood, because this will be their foundational infrastructure that they will build on when they go in college and or life. It's a great training ground for adulthood. And when they get to adulthood, they will have this foundation, kind of like think about the bottom of the pyramids in Egypt, right? The foundation, everything else is built on top of that. You want to have that when you graduate high school. That way you can build the next section of college. And I would assume hopefully everybody goes to college. And if you don't, that's totally fine. You're still going to have either a career or job and or family that you're going to need to learn to have systems in place so you don't just get pulled in all directions. You can actually be in control of your life. That's what's the great thing about these executive functions. They're not just pertaining to school. For students, executive functions, school is a training ground for executive functions. Yeah, I know that may sound a little chicken egg a little bit, but where the school parameters of to do well in school, the executive functions we need to do well is a training ground which we'll utilize when we become adults in life and whatever pathways we take when we become adults and raise families and all the good things that we're going to do when we're adults. Without them, we have to learn them older, and it becomes a lot harder when you're older. When you learn them at a young age, you're already experienced with them. You can fine tune them and hone them in and focus better. It's just a great thing to do when you're young. Anyways, once again, thank you for watching this whole series on systems, and I hope to see you in the next chapter to come, which will be on routines. And remember, as always, enjoy the process. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.